Surviving keto, what it is, what it did, and what it resulted in.
I don't understand. Like, why would anybody think this is a good idea? You know what we need to do? All fat and animal protein. Ding, ding, ding. No, bad plan.
Tonight's Shackwell goes to Jillian Michaels, who slammed the keto diet as an awful diet. Don't feel bad, keto diet. A lot of people think Jillian Michaels is a bad idea.
Welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone's 2019 is off to an incredible start. I hope everyone's having lots of fun, fulfilling all of their goals, and just really making the best of 2019. This week we're gonna do a little bit of something different. We're going to do what I wanna call True Tea with Troy. Okay, it's not too groundbreaking because a few of my videos I've done something at the end with a little bit of a tidbit, but this is just gonna be tea. We're going to talk about surviving keto. Now I know that Surviving R. Kelly is out there circling the www and the World Wide Web and the internet, or whatever you kids are calling it these days. Surviving keto, I would not say that it is the same as Surviving R. Kelly, but I will say I did not believe that I could fly. As always, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? Like, what are you really doing? Also, make sure that you are following me on Instagram, Twitter, all of that jazz. Troy J. Robertson. Again, subscribe. Just do it. Like Nike, okay? Checks over stripes.
That's my opinion!
So, last year, I want to say in the spring, I had a couple of friends, Andrea and Ruben. They're in the fitness world. Ruben is a personal trainer, and then my friend Andrea, she is a trainer and then a coach at a women's fitness boutique called Burn Boot Camp. I was really just trying to kickstart losing weight. So rewind even further into 2017. That was when I was in the spring finishing grad school. I was coaching. I had a really hectic, busy schedule. And listen, you know, I wasn't no physique model. I wasn't gonna go out and be in a show or anything. But when I finished undergrad in 2014, the body was tight, okay? It was snatched. And then I moved to the South. I worked a lot. I moved to the South. The food is very rich and heavy. I stopped working out. My schedule got crazy, and I just got very loose.
Girl, you had rolls all over the place in the back. It was disgusting.
Back rolls.
At the end of the day, I'm 6'10", and so I can't ever really say that I'm overweight, but I was not happy with my body at some point. And so finishing up grad school in the spring of 2017 and, not really treating my body well that entire summer, and then coming back and just really in the fall of 2017 before I moved to Memphis, just really not taking care of my body. So 2018 rolls around last January, and I'm working out. I'm back at the gym 4 to 5 days a week. I'm eating my really healthy meals. I'm eating my grilled chicken with my rice, with my eggs, with my vegetables and all of that stuff. And I just didn't feel like anything was moving. I just didn't feel like my body was doing the things that it did when I was eating all of those meals, working out like I did when I was like 22 or 23. So I just needed something to kind of kickstart it. So they told me about the keto diet. And so basically what the keto diet is, it's basically the Atkins diet revamped for us to sound even cooler. The keto diet is when you eliminate all or a majority of the carbohydrates that you're taking in. And so some people think, oh, I'm gonna reduce the easy things like noodles, bread, oatmeal, cream of wheat, like things like that. No, it's all carbs. There's carbs in everything. So I had to be careful of what vegetables I was eating. Condiments were out the door. Sugars are gone. Dairy was pretty much gone. Like, there were so many things that I couldn't eat. So when you're on keto, you reduce your carb intake, but then you increase your protein and then also your fat intake. And so in turn, it's supposed to burn more fat because the carbohydrates just aren't like sitting on your body, and you get into this thing called ketosis, and it just burns up all your carbs.
Is butter a carb?
With the removal of all these carbohydrates, your body is able to use the increased amount of fats that you're taking in for the energy instead of using the carbohydrates as energy and storing the minimal fats that you were eating before. So then you trick your body into using the fats as your energy, and so you burn the fat off. I had to completely switch my diet around, and I had to completely tell my body it was okay to eat things that I didn't eat before. So I was eating lots of fats. I brought in bacon. I brought in lots of cheeses and I was eating an avocado a day. Butter was technically okay. Like, there were so many things that I had to kind of train my body into eating that I told myself I wasn't supposed to be eating like before, to get rid of all my rice, all of my bread, all of that. So what I did is, I'm not sure if I did full-blown keto, but all I know is that I did keto. Okay? I was on keto. I'm keto! I was eating less than 30 grams of carbohydrates a day, and when I tell you by lunch, what I would do is I would pack my lunch, and I would pack like ground turkey and avocados and a very, very low-carb vegetable. I had to be careful with vegetables. Like, it was insane. It was just insane. Sometimes I would have cottage cheese if it was like low carb enough. Then if I did that, I had to watch everything else I ate the rest of the day, because I had to have 30 grams of carbs a day or less. And so technically, when you say that, I could have had 2 pieces of bread that equaled 30 grams. Well, 1 piece of bread is maybe 30 grams of carbohydrates, depending on the type of bread. But then that means nothing else that has a single carb could go in it. So I was counting things down to that had 4 carbs in it. Like, I had to be careful with scoops of peanut butter that had 7 grams of carbs, I remember. And it was just really, really challenging. So I would pack like a little like string cheese, and I would bring that to work. And by 10 o'clock, I was sprinting to the staff room to eat a piece of cheese because I was about to pass out. It was really hard. Like I said, I started at March 1, and completely changed my diet, and I was working out, and I would say that in about the first week or 2, I noticed that I was starting to itch. Like, my skin was starting to itch, and it was like in my midsection and my love handle area and my butt cheeks. So like where I store the most fat.
I said, babe, it's a snake. He said it's an entree.
So I noticed I started itching, and so I'm, trugging along. I'm still doing keto, and I make an appointment with my dermatologist. And I go to her, and she's like, it can't be your diet. She's like, there's no way. It's something environmentally in the outside affecting you. She thought I had scabies because I stay in so many hotels. I didn't have scabies, everyone. Okay, chill. She thought I had scabies. She thought I just had like acute dermatitis. Like, she thought I just had like a dermographic something. Dermographic. She basically thought I had something with my skin that I could have grown out of in a few months. Like, my skin was just getting inflamed, and it was just gonna hold like a lot of inflammation and redness, and then it'd go away. And then she thought I had hives. Like, there was just so many things that was going on, and I'm itching, and it's getting worse, but not unbearably worse, okay? So then I start researching it, and I'm like, I look up this thing called the keto rash. And it's basically, the keto rash is when you've eliminated all of the carbohydrates, and your body then, I shocked my chakra. Basically, your body doesn't know what to do with all like the bacteria and like the bad stuff in your body because you're removing it all. Like, carbohydrates have a lot of bad stuff in it, even though your body does use it as energy, so they say. So when you start to remove it, your body is like, it starts to expel like lots of bacteria and the bad stuff, and it does that by like seeping through the skin. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, you guys, okay? I'm just explaining to you what I read. So then I'm like, I have the keto rash. So then I made an appointment with a new doctor who then referred me to a new dermatologist. And so basically they were both like, yeah, you gotta get off the keto diet. Like, it did something to you, or you removed something, you introduced something new, and then from there, now your body's having a reaction. So they were under the impression that the keto rash kickstarted it, and then I introduced something new into my diet that I was actually allergic to. Well, P.S., I've never been allergic to anything in my entire life. So like I said, I started in March. I finished in May. I was not hard keto until May though. I would say I was hard keto for about 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, I wanna say I lost about 10 pounds. So, I mean, it definitely did kickstart weight loss. It also kickstarted something in my skin. Then after those 6 weeks, I was kind of what I called soft keto. So then I started to reintroduce things. So I would have like oatmeal in the morning. I wasn't full-blown keto anymore. And reintroducing the carbs back in helped a little bit. But this was a struggle. Like, this affected my entire summer, and it was really difficult to like work out because if I got too hot, I started to itch and scratch, and I couldn't be in the sun too long, and I couldn't do a lot of outdoor activities because it would inflame my skin. So it was something I really had to deal with. I'm not keto anymore, but I do have atopic dermatitis, which is the more medical term for eczema.
I get these bumps. Was that eczema?
I got what?
The eczema?
Eczema is not as gross as everyone thinks. I remember people used to like make fun of eczema in middle school, and it's like, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, like, okay, I got eczema, I got a little bit of an itch, but like, have you seen me? Okay, it ain't looking too bad over here. I will say that it was really fun to like dedicate myself to something and like just be really goal oriented and just be like 30 grams of carbs, 30 grams of carbs, and just really sticking to that. I will say that I was almost keto fraud at times too, because I still did drink. So I wouldn't drink throughout the week, but like I drank on the weekends. But then I really just made sure that I was not eating the things that I wasn't supposed to be eating. Like, I traveled a lot, and I would be in an airport miserable because all there were things that had bread on it. And I remember like flying home one morning and needing breakfast, and the only thing that I could have even eaten was a fruit cup from somewhere or a smoothie, but even that's too many carbs. I would say I was annoying on keto. Like, I talked about it all the time because I was miserable and because people would ask me to do things or ask me to eat, and I'd be like, I can't eat that, I'm keto. Keto! Another thing about keto, it was not sustainable. So this was definitely like a kickstart diet. It cannot be a lifestyle changing thing. There's no way that I could have lived my entire life. Remove the rash, remove the skin issues that I had. I couldn't have lived my entire life on keto. It wasn't sustainable. I don't think I went through ketosis as much as someone doing keto normally does. I don't know if that meant that I was eating too many carbs. I really stuck to 30 grams of carbs a day, and I should have been. I went through it a few times, I will say this, but I wasn't going through it as often as I've heard some people go through. Would I do it again? Probably not. So somebody who's maybe considering the keto diet, maybe just consider what I call fake keto or soft keto, and that's basically just a lower carb diet, and try that first and see how your body reacts to it, and maybe try like easing into keto. Like, I just completely shocked my chakra. I shocked my body. I pulled out all of the carbohydrates. It said, whoa, what's going on? Okay, it freaked out. I was 245 pounds, 6'10". My body reacted. I would also say that crash diets don't work, and I would say that keto is probably considered a crash diet. Like, again, low carb, people. Just remove some of your carbs. Switch to things like Ezekiel bread or cauliflower rice, or, you know, remove dairy and introduce soy milk, and just watch the carb intake and watch all of the sugars and the bad stuff. It's all about balance. Healthy eating choices, balancing your food groups, coupled with working out and lots of water, drinking a gallon of water a day, so good for your body, for your skin, for everything about you. And those are some of the things that you can, you know, kind of just think about doing instead of doing like a really harsh, severe crash diet like keto or Atkins or something like that. All right, this has been True Tea with Troy. I hope that it has been informational. I hope that I have, you know, hopefully not scared anyone about keto, but you know, it's real. Struggle is real. And I just wish that I would have researched it a little bit more before diving right into it. Potentially consulting a doctor or something like that. It's always helpful. There's nothing wrong with talking to a dietitian. So some diets aren't for everyone, and some people's bodies just can't do it. So please be safe out there when you are working on your 2019 body goals, physique goals, and diet goals, all right? And this has been True Tea with Troy, okay? Please, again, make sure you are liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I will see you next time, kitty girls and boys and undecideds. Bye. A little dry. shocked my chakra.